Hello, viewers. It's Josie. The Emmys are tomorrow, and with that happening, I decided to make a video talking about why Better Call Saul should win Best Drama Series, Writing, and pretty much everything. You ask me. And um, it's quite a travesty. It's not nominated for directing, and it wasn't nominated for cinematography in the Creative Arts Emmys. It wasn't nominated for editing either, but that's a different story. Well, it sort of connects to this. Um, so before I give my three reasons why I think Better Call Saul should win, I'm just gonna go over for viewers who don't know, the differences between the Emmys and the Oscars. Some differences between the Emmys and Oscars. Um, the Emmys have a different qualification window, um, ranging from June through May. It's very weird. Don't ask me why they do it. I think it may have something to do with how network TV would air in the past, but of course that's changing. Uh, Another thing too that's different from a difference between the Emmys and Oscars, and this is something I really, really hate about the Emmys. When they award writing and directing, they don't award the show as a whole. They award specific episodes. I'm sorry, I think that is incredibly stupid. That's like if the Oscars awarded performances or writing or directing based off of specific scenes. I mean, granted they do have FYC clips, but then again, it's still for the thing as a whole. If if that's what they if they award writing and directing for specific episodes, then you might as well have a separate category for best episode. Um, what they should do instead when awarding writing and directing at the Emmys is have um wait, before I get to that, another reason why I hate how they award episodes rather than the show as a whole is it allows for multiple episodes from the same show to get nominated. Say, for instance, in the directing category this year at the Emmys, 3 episodes of Succession were nominated. 3, taking away slots from other shows. Now, granted, I don't watch Succession. I've never watched Succession. I know it has a big fan base, so I don't want to like offend any people. But I'm sorry, that's over nominating. Um, and so what I think they should do when awarding writing and directing is rather than give it to specific episodes, to give it to like all the writers in the writers' room and all of the directors who contributed. And they could share it like a SAG Ensemble Prize. Because, look, with TV, with writing and directing TV, it's the it's it's a vision. It's not. I don't know how do I explain this. It's still a singular vision, but spread out, and the writers try to figure out what to do um while having like a blueprint. And same goes with directing. All right, enough of that. Let's get to. Oh, and one last thing. Only season 6A of Better Call Saul was eligible for this year's Emmys, and because of the because season 6B premiered after the eligibility window, which was June. So, and this brings me to my 3 reasons why Better Call Saul should win Best Drama Series. And just across board in general. Okay. Number 1, consistently amazing performances through all seasons. Bob Odenkirk, of course, comes from a comedy background between writing for SNL, creating and starring in Mr. Show alongside fellow comedian David Cross. The character of Jimmy McGill / Saul Goodman could have been written and played as a one-note joke character in a sitcom. However, Odenkirk brings a sensitive vulnerability. Again, that speaks to the strength of the brilliant writing. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into why the performances are incredible. I'm just basically just going to name some names. Ray Seahorn, 1000% deserves to win Best Supporting Actress for playing Kim Wexler. I can't believe Ray Seahorn has never been nominated for an Emmy until now. And since, like I mentioned before, only season 6A was eligible, and then season 6B will be eligible for next year's Emmys, I guarantee you, Ray Seahorn's episode submission for supporting actress will be the Waterworks episode. I can also see them submitting Fun and Games, but there's a scene in Waterworks that I could just totally picture on an FYC clip. Jonathan Banks, Michael McKean, Michael Mando, Tony Dalton, and Patrick Fabian are also fantastic. Oh, and I got to mention Ed Begley Jr. Similar to Bob Odenkirk, Michael McKean sort of came from a comedy background, being in things like Laverne and Shirley, and This Is Spinal Tap, and what's funny is he was nominated for an Oscar for writing an original song for the Christopher Guest movie A Mighty Wind. So Michael McKean was outstanding as Jimmy's brother Chuck. At the 2019 Emmys, he won Best Guest Actor, which is such a cheat in a drama series, but was never nominated in the Best Supporting Actor drama category. They did a similar thing with Tom Pelphrey's character in Ozark. He was snubbed for season 3 for Best Supporting Actor in a drama series. However, they made up for it by nominating him in Guest Actor in a drama series. And that Jonathan Banks was nominated for Supporting Actor in a Drama Series for playing Mike Ehrmantraut in 2015, 2016, and 2019. And then before those nominations for Better Call Saul, he was actually nominated for the same role of Mike Ehrmantraut in 2013 when Breaking Bad was around. In 1989, Banks was actually nominated for Supporting Actor in Drama Series for his role in the show Wise Guy, which is on Tubi, and I may want to check it out now, because I just love Jonathan Banks. Episodes, I already said they're on Tubi. Giancarlo Esposito was nominated for playing Gus Fring in 2012, obviously, for Breaking Bad, 2019, and 2020. He also received nods for The Mandalorian, one for Guest Actor and one for Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. Neither Banks nor Esposito being nominated for this season of Better Call Saul is unjust. And this goes to my point about over-nominating shows. 3 men from Succession getting in. I mean, if you're nominating Succession, fine, but to have it over-dominate and take away slots from other actors, I don't know. it just sort of feels unfair. And like sort of denies credibility. I don't know. Shows a lack of credibility. I don't know. And as I said, luckily, Better Call Saul season 6B will be eligible for next Emmy cycle, so it's possible that Banks and Esposito can receive nominations next year. And that said, you can argue that both of them, that especially Jonathan Banks, overdue for Emmys for their roles in the Breaking Bad universe. Reason number 2, visual storytelling. Yes, the sweepingly wide shots of the Albuquerque suburbs and the desert are breathtaking. It defies typical cinematography seen on television. Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould wanted the show to look more cinematic rather than like every other show on television, because they thought that most TV shows were looking the same. The visuals in Better Call Saul can sometimes, oftentimes, tell even more than just the dialogue on the page. Bernardo Bertolucci's Conformist, as well as Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece, The Godfather, were cited as visual influences. This makes sense considering how many call Breaking Bad like the Godfather of television. And there are also homages to old westerns, which Jimmy and Kim love to watch. Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould are able to make the most seemingly insignificant props an essential part of the narrative. These range from like wine bottle caps to trash cans to ice cream cones to pens. Much of this has to do with where the camera is placed in the scene. According to Marshall Adams, one of the DPs on the show, Vince Gilligan always intended to have the cameras be where they wouldn't typically be in other movies and shows, whether that be cup holders, toilets, dumpsters, or even mailboxes. This adds to the show's levity and comedic elements. The deliberate framing and placement of characters in the scenes are all genius because they're always reflective of the characters' headspace as well as their dynamics with each other. The lighting is very reminiscent of that scene in classic film noirs. Truthfully, I would classify Better Call Saul as sort of a neo-noir. There's perfectly balanced juxtaposition between light and shadow. That's not the only excellent use of visual juxtaposition. Both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul were noted for their clever use of color. Most of Better Call Saul takes place pre-Breaking Bad, but the post-Breaking Bad scenes are in black and white. Because it isn't much of a spoiler to know that the color is gone because he's lost the fun in his life, being the criminal lawyer that he is. Or criminal former lawyer, I should say, because in the black and white scenes we see him working at a Cinnabon and a mall in Nebraska. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul use color somewhat differently. In Breaking Bad, colors are representative of character shifts, whether or not their changes are for the best or the worst of other people. On the other hand, in Better Call Saul, the colors are more indicative of the placements of characters as far as choices like their allegiances to either the criminal or the legal or criminal worlds. Specifically, blue is associated with following the rules. At HHM and Davison Maine law firms, they wear a lot of blue, and the offices have blue, like on the walls and background. Conversely, red and orange are associated with crime. Other colors like brown, yellow, black, etc. are reflective of like the middle grounds between the legal and criminal worlds, as well as the ugly blending and colliding of these two worlds, especially when Jimmy McGill is on his path to becoming Saul Goodman. All in all, with the cinematic homages to classic westerns and film noirs, as well as transcendent cinematography I was describing, Better Call Saul breaks out of the box of typical television. And then reason number 3, the all-round clever writing. The title of every episode of Better Call Saul is said in pretty much every episode. Sometimes when that is done in movies and television, it can be a bit on the nose in such a tacky way. Family Guy even made fun of this at one point with Peter Griffin's famous name in the title joke. However, Better Call Saul intertwines the title with the dialogue of the episode to great meaningful advantage. Because Better Call Saul is a prequel, we know the fate of our protagonist. But the question is how? And, like, the title makes us question, like, how will the fate unfold? And literally every single line of dialogue is important. There's so many callbacks, whether those being from the start of an episode or in reference to a previous episode or previous seasons. And to make writing like that work, it takes such a degree of difficulty. And another thing I forgot to mention, and this goes back to the visuals, is the blending of genre. Like, you can't put Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul in any specific genre. I mean, they're both crime shows, but especially Better Call Saul mixes comedy, crime, drama, film noir, a little western, courtroom drama, and as a whole, the writing is the glue that holds the show together. It serves the actors with excellent material, and is the blueprint for Gilligan and Gould's visual storytelling. I hope you enjoyed my 3 reasons why Better Call Saul should win the Emmys. Now, this video may not be relevant by the time many of you see it, given that the Emmys are literally tomorrow. However, if you watch this after the 2022 Emmys, it's still relevant in that Better Call Saul will be eligible for next year's Emmys 2023. And let's hope voters don't forget about it. Better Call Saul Emmy sweep, let's go! Even though that's probably wishful thinking. But seriously though, I'm rooting so hard for Bob Odenkirk and Rhea Seehorn. The links to my socials are in the description below. And it's fall festival season right now, which means award season's coming up, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos relating to that. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.